Hi, Strong Mom Society. So when you're first learning this diaphragmatic breath, it can feel a little bit like you're trying to pat your head and rub your belly at the same time as we're doing these exercises. So diaphragmatic breathing, once you have the foundation of knowing, you feel the lower ribs and belly expand, releasing on that inhale, you have that basic breathing concept down, then you're gonna come into this workout where your only marker for success is making sure that you're using that diaphragmatic breath. Doesn't matter to me what muscles you feel. Obviously, if you feel pain or discomfort or something doesn't feel right, skip it, move on, scale back, whatever you need to do to take care of your body. But know that the marker for success in this entire workout is, are you using your diaphragmatic breath? Because what we're trying to do is strengthen that brain to muscle connection. And the only way we can really get this core engaging properly as you do those more advanced workouts is if we start with making sure that the breath is on here as we lay the foundation. So the first thing I want you to do is come onto your back. If you're not comfortable on your back, you're in a later stage of pregnancy, you get nauseous, dizzy, lightheaded here, you're actually gonna do this against a wall instead. So let me set you up there first and then we're gonna come down. But if you aren't comfortable on your back, you're gonna take a wall sit and you're just gonna feel your shoulder blades into the wall here. Doesn't have to be very deep. It actually can be up here instead. But you're just gonna find that scap engagement. Now, if you are comfortable on your back, come on down. We're gonna lay here and we're gonna find our shoulder blades into the floor. So whether you're on the wall or you're on the floor, I want you to take your palms up and you're gonna start with that diaphragmatic breathing. So inhale, ribs and belly. Exhale, just release and let go. Don't worry about any engagement right now. We're just trying to get the ribs on, and a good way to tell if that's happening is when you take a breath in, if your shoulders rise and fall or you feel a lot of strain in your neck, I want you to just close your eyes, try to deepen this breath. Nice big inhale, you'll feel the belly rise a little. Exhale, the belly sinks a little. Now what you're gonna do is take a supine means you're laying on your back, scapular hold. So your scapula are your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, I want you to think of anchoring your armpits down to your hips. You can even think about sliding those fingertips down towards your feet. And you're gonna hold on an extended 5 count. Let me break this down. We're gonna take an inhale with the diaphragm, ribs and belly. Everything lets go. And then you're gonna breathe out for 5 seconds as you reach your fingertips towards your feet and you're feeling your shoulder blades slide either along the wall or down the floor. And inhale, let that all go. Ribs and belly, exhale. Breathe out for 5 counts. Reach your fingertips towards your feet. Feel how your shoulder blades just sink down your back and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna take that 2 more times. Inhale, release. Ribs and belly, exhale. Shoulders slide down your back. We're gonna hold that scapular engagement for 3, 2, 1, and one last time. Inhale, ribs and belly. Exhale, fingertips slide down towards your feet. Shoulders slide down the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Let go. Good. I want you to line your feet up underneath you. Think of those toes facing forward. And then find in your brain the energetic connection from your heels up into your glutes. So just imagine there's a line of energy that goes from heel up the back of the leg all the way into your butt. And then what you're gonna do is use your inhale, exhale for some glute bridges. So we breathe in, and then as you breathe out, I want you to just lift and squeeze your butt. Inhale down, feel that belly expand. Exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale. So you're trying to squeeze your butt on to get those hips up. And if you don't feel this in your glutes yet, that's okay. Remember that marker for success is diaphragmatic breathing. So we're just teaching your brain that you're gonna breathe before you head into an exercise. So it's a little bit of overkill with the amount of oxygen that we're taking in right now. So if you start to feel lightheaded or dizzy, go ahead and either do less breath or maybe you do 2 repetitions per every breath, 2 up, inhale. Take care of your body. You are taking in a lot of oxygen right now. Let's take 2 more. And last one, and squeeze. Good. Roll over to your side, and I want you to pop yourself up onto your shoulder. Now, if you're someone that holds a lot of neck tension, this is gonna be your exercise right here, where we're just trying to hold this position and stay out of this tension. So you're gonna imagine that you've got a lift from your armpit all the way down to your hip, and a straight line of energy from your head through your spine out your tailbone. And breathe diaphragmatically here. If you feel good here, I want you to use this activation and your scap activation, the arm that's down, I want you to think of that shoulder blade dropping just like we did on the floor a second ago. And as you do that, breathe out, hug your core muscles towards your body, and then lift your hips up into the air. Inhale. Ribs and belly, exhale, anchor down through your scap, exhale to lift. Inhale, fill, exhale, lift. You can even keep this hand on the belly 2 more times. Inhale, fill, exhale, lift, and last one, exhale, lift. Good. We're gonna flip over to the other side. Now, this workout, the purpose of this training is not to feel a burn or like you're getting really sweaty, you're getting really exhausted. This is brain to muscle training here. So you don't need to do a high number of reps. The most important thing is that you do these reps correctly and with that diaphragmatic breathing. So elbow is stationed right underneath your shoulder. You're gonna feel that support from your armpit down to your hip, long line of energy from head to tail. I'm finding that scapular engagement. Big breath in, exhale, hug the belly muscles towards you. Inhale, fill, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale. And again, if you have a lot of trap or neck tension here and you can't do this lift without creating pain or more tension, I want you to just practice the breathing here. If you're lifting, we're gonna do 2 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, fill. And exhale, lift. Good. You're gonna come onto your backs one more time, and I want you to put those feet underneath you, and we're gonna combine this breath with a tuck and a tilt. So as you breathe out, I want you to curl your pubic bone up towards your nose, and it's like you've got a big scoop or an S curve through, or a C curve through the front of your belly. And then inhale, I want you to release back to neutral. So exhale, you're pressing the small of your back into the floor as you curl your pubic bone up towards your nose. Inhale, there's a very tiny arch. I don't want you to overextend that arch and open up the ribs and belly here. It's just a release into your neutral position. Exhale, good. Inhale, fill the ribs and belly. Exhale. So again, we're in the supine position, which means laying down. And then we're just breathing out. And you might even feel some deeper core activation on that exhale as you tuck that pelvis under. You're training your body to breathe before it moves or before it goes into a muscle activation. We're gonna take 1 more. Inhale, fill. Exhale, tuck that pelvis. Great. Back up onto all fours, and we're gonna come into a quadruped position. Quadruped meaning on all fours. So set yourself up so your wrists are right underneath your shoulders. Your hips are right on top of your knees. If you've got wrist pain, pop up onto your fists here. Turn on that diaphragmatic breathing. So from here, to do this breath, I don't want you to go into a cat and cow. As you breathe in, you've got that long line of energy from head to tail, like there's a straight line or a rod through your spine. And then as you breathe in, you're gonna feel your belly drop down to the floor because everything's relaxed here without bowing that lower back. And then as you breathe out, you're gonna gently pull those belly muscles in towards your spine without rounding the spine or tucking your tailbone under. So we're trying to maintain that long line of energy from head to tail, and just breathe and turn on those muscles at the front of the core. Check in with your elbows. If they tend to hyperextend here, just rotate your elbows so they are facing one another. And this is also a really good position to practice that scapular activation. So thinking that your arms start in the very center of your back so you get the tension out of the neck or too much tension in the wrists here. When you feel like you've got this breath really solid, I want you to use a little bit of a lift on your exhale. So you're just gonna take some play here in your limbs. Breathe out, pick up one wrist, inhale, place it down. You can also do your knees. And what you're trying to do is keep your spine as stable as possible. So as you lift your arms or your legs, you're trying not to take a big shift over to the side. So you can do palms, you can do knees, you can do a combination of opposite palm and knee on the exhale. And the reason you're lifting on the exhale is because our bodies are stronger as we breathe out. You know, when we breathe in, you can see you're relaxing that core. This is like your recovery, your rest phase. And then as you breathe out, you can hug those core muscles in towards your midline, towards your spine. That gives you spinal and pelvic stability as you go into this movement. A more advanced version of this is to either reach out and away, keep fingertips and toes on the ground, or to go into a full bird dog. That's your breath out. You take that breath in and reset. We're just gonna take about 10 more seconds to play with this movement here. And then we're gonna get ourselves up to standing. So you're working on any version that works for you. Good, and then I want you to sit back into child's pose, extend those arms out, drop your forehead to the floor, and reset that diaphragmatic breathing because you'll feel your belly drop down between your thighs, down towards the floor, and then exhale, let go. Bring yourself all the way up into a kneeling position. Take your time with the breath. You're gonna take your diaphragmatic breathing with you, so however long it takes you to get up, come to the front. And I want you to just bring your hands to your belly, close your eyes, and see if you can feel that diaphragm turn on here. For a lot of us, as soon as we get up to standing, we go back into this upper chest breath, straining the neck, traps, shoulders. So see if you can bend the knees a little, maybe shake things out. If it helps, you can kind of take some taps through the diaphragm to tell that muscle that that's what we want to turn on here. If you can't get your diaphragm turned on in this position, you're gonna stop the video here and you're gonna go back, repeat some breathing exercises on your back, low to the ground. Our bodies know that low to the ground, laying down in supine is rest and recovery because that's the position we go to sleep in at night. As soon as we get upright, a lot of us tend to hold tension and our bodies suddenly send us into fight or flight mode, which is what we're trying to retrain. So really take that moment here to reset. We're gonna go into a deadlift. You're welcome to add weights to this if you want. If so, grab those weights, you're gonna hold them at the front here. And I want you to find the coordination of your inhale, exhale. Does not matter to me if you inhale down or exhale down. But your hands are either on weights or you can just reach your fingertips in front. I'm still finding that scapular engagement, like my arms start here in the center of my back. And then as I reach down, I'm gonna take those sits bones back, trying to hit the back wall behind me. This isn't a squat. A squat would be a little deeper in the knees. So you're just bending forward, straight line from head to tail, like you're reaching for a low table, and then bring yourself back up to standing. And again, I'm inhaling down and exhaling up, but it's also possible to exhale down and inhale up. I want you to play with both directions and see which feels the most natural in your body. Breathing in, breathing out. There's no right or wrong answer to this because when we're moving throughout our daily lives, sometimes we would be putting something down and need to exhale, engage the core. Sometimes we'd be picking something up and need to exhale and engage the core. So this is really just about you setting that brain to body connection of using your diaphragm. And then we'll get into the nitty-gritty later about when specifically to use that exhale to help support your back and core. Give me 3 more here. Inhale. Find that breath. I'm gonna take 1 more. And back up. The last exercise we're gonna do is a one-legged deadlift. So I'm gonna bring my hands to my hips. I'm gonna take that leg behind me. A more advanced version of this is to hold a weight in your hands in front of you. You're welcome to do that. But I'm gonna find my breath, get that diaphragm turned on, find my scap engagement here. And then I'm gonna go in and out of shifting that leg behind me and back underneath me again. 1 inhale, exhale per repetition. So for me, it makes sense to inhale back, exhale as I come forward. You're also welcome to practice exhaling back, inhaling as you come forward. And then our marker for success is using this breath, but you can also check in to see if you can get activation in your glute on your standing leg. We're gonna take 2 more here. Where's your inhale? Where's your exhale? Last one. Good. And then I'm gonna flip over to the other leg. So I'm gonna put my right leg down. You'll see I just took an upper chest breath there. So I'm gonna take a moment to reset, get my diaphragm turned back on, find that scapular engagement, really anchoring my armpits down towards my hips, shifting that leg back and back underneath me again. Again, 1 breath per repetition. And you know, if you're still working on this breath, this might feel like more of a brain workout than anything else. You know, yes, you might feel a little bit of glute burn here. You might feel some glute burn tomorrow when you wake up. But the most important thing is we're training our bodies to use that diaphragmatic breathing so we can access the muscles of the core properly, and to train ourselves that we don't need to be in fight or flight mode in this moment. We're not being chased by a tiger. We're not at risk. Give me 1 more. And come back to center. Reset in the middle. 1 hand on your chest, 1 on the belly. Close your eyes. Set that breath with the intention that you're gonna come back to this diaphragmatic breathing as much as possible throughout your day. So I challenge you as you go through your day, sit down to work, your baby starts to cry, see if your reaction is up here, or see if you can take the moment to say, no, we're okay. I'm gonna breathe into my ribs and belly, use the diaphragm, and get yourself into that parasympathetic nervous system versus fight or flight mode, the sympathetic nervous system. Great job.